Thousands of Russians took to Moscow streets for the second time this year, demanding the Kremlin end its military actions in Ukraine. But many of the marchers want more than just peace in Ukraine. They also want political change here in Russia. Peace March participant Daniel says he hates to see President Vladimir Putin and the Kremlin elite doing what he calls destructive political activities.
I think it's a big mistake. He's taking Russia into chaos, into anarchy, into nationalism, fascism, and it shouldn't be like this.
Small groups of protesters hurled abuse at the peace marchers, calling them traitors and fascists for supporting Kiev over pro-Russia separatists in Ukraine. But it is President Putin who is behaving most like a dictator, says opposition leader and peace march organizer Boris Nemtsov.
He lies in revenge for Ukraine's revolution when Ukrainians took to the streets and dethroned the corrupt thief, President Yanukovych. President Putin is afraid it could be repeated in Russia. And besides, he thinks if Ukraine is successful on the European path, it is a threat to his own power.
Police confiscated some protest banners deemed too critical of President Putin and Russia's actions in Ukraine. Although security was tight, some scuffles broke out when individuals attacked peace marchers. Despite the show of strength, Russia's opposition acknowledged they are a minority voice that lost much steam from protests a few years ago when they demanded President Putin step down. Their ranks were thinned by Kremlin repression, propaganda, and nationalism, says Nemtsov.
In reality, many people are repressed and prosecuted. This is firstly. Secondly, the good economic situation allowed Putin to shut up those who were not satisfied with the economic situation. And the Goebbels-like imperial hysteria he arranged in the mass media all has brought about the fall of the protest movement. And it became, to a large extent, a dissident movement.
Nemtsov says Sunday's peace march could help to recharge Russia's opposition movement.
To explain our views to people, we must use the only opportunity, Facebook and other social networks, and some mass media outlets.
But Nemtsov, also an advisor to Ukrainian leaders, says a lasting peace in Ukraine is not only up to Russia, as Kiev needs to enact tough reforms to remove deep-rooted corruption. Daniel Schearf, VOA News, Moscow.